Okay, so in this video we're going to be talking about how to complete the square of a quadratic. Now this completing the square can be used for multiple things. One, it could be used for solving quadratics, even though it's not the best method, I would say, because the quadratic formula is probably the quickest, or even factorising would be even quicker if it can be factorised. But sometimes it can be used for minimum points. So if you've done plotting quadratics, which are the smiley face graphs, this will tell you the lowest point or the highest point of the graph, depending on whether it's a smiley face or sad face. But I'm just going to start off with the basics of how to complete the square. Now, I am only focusing on the easiest ones, and that's where it's just x squared at the front and not a number at the front, so not like 5x squared, for example, because obviously there is extra work on that, but I just wanted to do the basics first, and then we can work our way up to doing the harder ones. Now, I know some people like formulas, which is what I've written here, and what we'll be doing is, for the example, I'll be using this as well to help you, but also saying what we're going to do anyway. So we have a quadratic like this, so we'll have a number in front of the x and we'll have a number added on the end or subtracted, depending on what quadratic it is. So what we do is we have this single bracket here with the squared, because this is the complete the square bit. So it would be x plus whatever half of that number in front of the x is. Okay, so if that number was 10, you would do half of 10, which would be 5, and that would be the number that goes in the bracket with the x. Okay, then we always subtract the number that we've just put in and we square it. So we do subtract and it would be 5 squared. Okay, and then the c on the end would still be whatever number was there. Okay, and then if you can simplify it, you would do. So that's a bit complicated using letters, but we're going to be doing it on this example anyway. So we've got x squared plus 4x plus 10. Okay, so this is our b and this is our c if you wanted to use the formula. Okay, so I'm just going to be doing it with words. So we're still going to have x plus something and we're going to square it. Okay, so this is this part here of the formula. Okay, so what we do is we half whatever number is in front of the x. So half of 4 is 2. Okay, so this is half of 4. Okay, we then always subtract whatever this number is squared. Okay, so we're going to do subtract 2 squared. Now, if you're doing this on a calculator, this part, which to be honest I don't think you need to, but if you were, and you've watched my video to do with quadratic formula, this time you can get away with not putting brackets around it, okay? Because we're purely just doing taking away 2 squared. We're not doing negative 2 all squared, okay? So yes, we've got minus 2 squared, and then we're going to keep the plus 10 on the end, okay, which is what we did here. So the c that was here stays there, so that's what we've done. The c was 10 and we've left it. Okay, now because these are numbers, we can simplify it, so we're going to keep the first bit as it is, because that bit can't be simplified. Okay, it's still going to be subtract. 2 squared is 4, so I'm just going to write 4 instead, and still we've still got the plus 10. Okay, and then we can simplify this. So negative 4 add 10 would give us positive 6, which is the same as plus 6. So this is my final answer. Okay, so I will just say it one more time how to do it. So x plus half of the number that's in front of the x, so half of 4 is 2. Okay, and then we've got the squared on the end. So this is the complete the square bit essentially. Then we always take away whatever this is squared. Okay, and then we add 10 because the 10 was the c at the beginning. Then I've just simplified it. So this bit will always stay the same now. It's just these bits that we're going to simplify. So 2 squared is 4, so take away 4, and still plus 10, and then we simplify, subtract 4 plus 10, which is plus 6. Okay, so we're going to do another one. Oops. Okay, so these are the questions. Sometimes they write it like this instead. They're not as nice as just saying complete the square. they sometimes say, show that this quadratic can be written in the form of this, where a and b are integers. If you can't remember what integer is, that just means a whole number. Okay, so I'm just going to write the quadratic down here first. Okay, so I'm going to use the same method again. So we're going to have the bracket. Now we need half of this. Now the sign here will be the same sign that's here. So because it's subtract 6 here, it's still going to be subtract there. But we need to half the 6. So half of 6 would be 3. So it's subtract 3. Okay. Then we always take away this squared. Okay, so this is where, you know, when we did the negatives in the quadratic formula, we've got to put brackets around it. Otherwise, if you did do it on a calculator, it will moan at you and do the wrong thing. Yeah, so we've done the half bit. We've taken away this squared, and then we need the c to just be put on the end. Okay, so now we can simplify it. The first bit will just stay the same. Okay, so negative 3 squared is 9, so it's going to be take away 9. Okay, and then we've still got the take away 3 from the end. Then we can simplify this, so negative 9 take away another 3 would give us negative 12. So it's going to be, in brackets, x minus 3 squared, subtract 12. Okay, I'm going to do one more, I think. I'm not sure where I'm going to do it. I'll just rub up this bit. Change it to a 6 to be awkward. Okay, so again we're going to complete the square. So again, always start with x in a bracket with a little space and then a squared. So this number here, because it's a plus, it's still going to be a plus in the bracket. And half of 10 is 5, so it's going to be x plus 5. That's the first bit. Now we take away this squared. Now you can do this straight away in your head. If you think, oh okay, so 5 squared would be 25, you can straight away write 25. Okay, just for now I'm going to just write it out properly. And then we've still got the negative 6 from the first line. Okay, then we can simplify it. So again, the brackets will stay the same. 5 squared is 25, so it would be subtract 25. And then we've still got the negative 6. Just be careful, a lot of people get confused about that negative sign. Okay, that's a take away. It's not with the 5. And then we can simplify the numbers at the end one more time. So negative 25, take away 6 more, would be negative 31. Okay, and that's my final answer.